Oh, I'm live now. Hello, everybody. It's me again. 2 days in a row. It's Coco Havoc. Honestly, yesterday I just wanted to do something while I messed around with clay, and I'm messing around with more clay today because for some reason, am feeling creative and inspired. And I look like garbage because I didn't shower last night. I didn't want to. I just wanted to go to bed. And I just don't care right now. That's been my mood for like this past month is just I don't care. I just want to get a job. For some reason I'm getting some strange call from South Bend. Don't even live anywhere near South Bend. And they're calling me. I'm just going to ignore it. I've been getting a lot of really weird phone calls lately. I don't know why. They're asking me about it feels like they're like, hey, we understand you're interested in joining a charter school. I'm like, I don't know what that is. No, I'm not. Who told you that? I just want work. I want money. And of course, like always, I'll wait to actually begin the topic 5 minutes in. So it gives people time to actually join the stream. Maybe I'll make Frost watch me. Or at least listen to me. I'm making snowmen today. I want to make my grandma but more snowman figurines because she has like a whole buffet table dedicated to them every Christmas, and I figured she could use some more handmade ones. And also because I have a lot of white and I want to use it. I gotta make it sparkly though because snow has that glimmer to it. You know, when the light hits it, it's so pretty. I'm gonna be the clay version of Bob Ross. Just happy little mistakes. Let's add some more sparkle to it. Sparkle, sparkle. Yeah, it's looking great. Also, my back really hurts today. I've literally been hunched over my desk just doing like, oh, that looks nice. Oh, that's looking great. I'm making art. I'm making crappy art. Also, I finished my robot that I started. I should probably give me a second. Let me put this down. But like the robot that I started in VM Stream yesterday. Oh, he's finished. He's even got a little stand so he won't fall over. I think he looks great, and his arms move, which was a bitch to do, but I think he looks really great. I'm calling him Mr. Robo because I couldn't figure out anything else to call him. And he's a Christmas present for my grandpa. And I showed a couple pictures to my grandma. She's like, "Oh my god, it looks so nice. You did such a great job." I'm like, "Oh, thank you. I worked so hard. I spent an entire day on him. The gluing alone took fucking an hour for it wouldn't have taken an hour, but the glue wouldn't dry as quickly as I thought it would, and so it took an hour for the fucking glue to dry. So I was like carefully trying to put on pieces. It's like, but he looks great. I love him. Let me reach over, grab more strands of white from my huge block that I'm slowly getting rid of it. I'm slowly using it. I've only had it for a while. Let's go ahead and take this, add it to this. I'm not using my huge crank today because I don't want to contaminate all this white, so I have to do it by hand. And it kind of hurts because I somehow sprained my hand last night grabbing my blanket, and it just really hurt. I'm like, did I just sprain my hand on my blankets? Who the hell does that? And hi. But yeah, it was like, great, I might have sprained my hand. I could have broken my wrist on my blanket. God, what is wrong with me? God, I hate being 80 years old. You know, I'm not 80 years old. But yeah, after a bit, I'm going to start my actual topic that I've been It's a tough. I hated school. I'll be completely honest. I sucked at school. I don't. I didn't hate it. Okay, I didn't. I disliked most of my classmates, mostly because I felt like they really just disliked me. So I just kind of like, I don't like you either. But just like school's not fun. I felt really alienated, and it's just something like I give myself a speech every time I take showers. Like, most people don't know what they missed out on. I could have offered them a nice, genuine friendship and everything, and all I wanted to do was be a part of what they had. But no, I was too weird for them. Like every time almost every other shower I have, I give myself this talk, or I'm laying in bed late at night. It was just like, you did this. Wait, are you with Anakin? No, I grabbed just a blanket. It was just, he wasn't. Yeah, I haven't seen him in like a week. Either way, it was just like I'll be awake like late at night, laying in bed, and it'll be like, you know, they could have you could have been just as cool as them. You did the same stuff as they did. You were in theater. You did Quiz Bowl, but no, for some reason you were still treated as this weird outcast. And part of me is like, yeah, freaking outcast. And another part of me is like, I was an outcast. I had no friends. I had friends, but I kicked them all to the curb. Like, there's a whole story. It's just a whole story that I'm going to start at the beginning. Damn, it's a fucking cat. It's the other cat. It's not the cat that stays in my room. But I'm going to start, I believe. Well, no, it's not. I believe it's. I know it's. I have to figure out what words I'm using. I have to figure out how I'm going to articulate myself because I'm really bad at talking. I can be really bad at telling stories, especially difficult stories. Just like, words. What are they? She's actually doing stuff with school with theater because it's the today's the first day we're premiering their Whiskers. No, but today's the first day we're premiering their fall play, and I'm gonna go see that tonight. It's gonna be good. She does exactly what I did. She runs the lighting booth, but a lot better than I did. Apparently, they call me the light Hitler because apparently I was so strict about everything. Was like, you have to be here on time. You can't leave. Yeah. And so apparently now all the kids that I was in charge of are like, she was Hitler. We're calling her the lighting booth Hitler. While I called myself the lighting god. Good times. I was really well liked in school. But I'm going to start with 7th grade because the way my school system works, it's you spend first through 6th grade, kindergarten through 6th grade at the elementary school, and then and then you spend 7th to 12th grade or your 7th grade year to your senior year. He's scratching the door, but you spend all that time in the high school. So my 7th grade year, the school year before, my dad just divorced my really abusive stepmom. I actually spent that entire summer with my mother for the first time. Like, this is the first time I had spent so much time with my mom since I was 7 and I was 13. So first time in like 6 years I actually had a bit of a relationship with my mom. And that's honestly the peak of my relationship with my mom. After that, it just went downhill. Which is, my mom is a whole other can of worms. So we're gonna start with first grade. First 7th grade, which is I guess first grade, but whatever. Okay. But all right, we're 7th grade year. my mom actually was invested in my school, and like I said, she was actually there with like I spent the entire summer with her at my nana's, which is my mom's mom. First time I actually had a bit of a relationship with her in 6 years, the longest time I actually spent with my mom, and that's just she's she's something. Um, and like she actually went to my school, my 7th grade orientation, and was actually present. And then after that, she disappeared. But she didn't disappear yet. She tried to at least talk to me on Facebook and everything, and try to have some kind of relationship. Like she'd talk to me at least maybe 3 times a week. And you know what? For someone like me, that was enough. School started and I was having a problem. I started to have problems adjusting to a normal life again. Like what I mean is like I was super sheltered for about 5 years, 5 or 6 years, so I didn't really know any I wasn't really completely aware of modern pop culture. Like I didn't know who was famous or most things that, 7th graders talk about. I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't really even allowed to play video games. And oh boy, did that change. That's all I did. But so I was kind of different to begin with. Still was. And I didn't have a lot of friends, and that's all I wanted was to have friends. But when my stepmom was around, she pretty much made sure that I was the freak of the school and intimidated all my classmates, pretty much told their parents to never talk to my stepdaughter, blah, blah, blah. It was just a huge mess. So here I am, 7th grade, trying to develop into a young adult, and I don't have friends, and everyone's mean because I was different. Grew up a different religious system, grew up with different 7th grade, it's like the 7th year, I think, if you're English or something. That's how our high school started. You started out in the junior high, which is 7th, 8th grade, but it's still at the high school, so you have the same teachers all the time. And the cat's still scratching at the door, and I'm not getting up to go let him in because he's a jerkwad. But I'm also got this big disc of clay in my hands that I'm molding around, trying to find the words. And from there, I started getting a lot more anxious and just a lot more secluded. There was a group of guys that I tried hanging out with that I somewhat was familiar with in elementary. Like we'd play around and we'd beat each other up. That's who I hanged out with because they were the only ones who'd talk to me. And they got really mean. They'd be like, "You're just a stupid bitch. You're just a dumb slut." And of course, I'm 13 and I'm like, "What? I brought my Nintendo. Are we going to do Mario Kart?" But that's what I was. That's all I wanted to do was I wanted to play Mario Kart with them. And eventually, I did. But we're like, "We don't like you, Lily. Why do you?" Oh shoot! You guys know my real name, but we don't like you. Blah blah blah. It's like I just want to play Mario Kart and have a place to sit and eat lunch. Which I ended up moving to a different table with like this a lot older girl and this. I have to word this carefully. He was mentally slow, but he was still really nice. Fast forward to 8th grade when I started to become edgy. I wore nothing but black. I'm 20. I'm 20 now. This all happened years ago. I graduated like 2 years ago. Either way, flash forward to 8th grade. I'm wearing all this black. and yellow because I wore nothing but I had a huge Batman phase, and so everything was Batman. Everything was dark and edgy. I had like a Batman hoodie, tattered up jeans, black and yellow Heelys because those are so cool. And I had an emo haircut. Like, if you look at my old videos on my channel that I don't really post anything to, I just use it because it's got more subscribers. Because that's what you do. You get a famous boy. You get a famous boyfriend. I didn't even know he made YouTube or did YouTube. Either way, that's when I started making YouTube videos because I had nothing else to do and I just wanted attention from my classmates so I could have friends, and they just bullied me over that too. And that's when I actually started having a bullying problem. Like, there was this kid when I always struggled opening my locker to begin with, so as soon as I'd get it open and I'd stick in my hand to get a book, this kid would slam the door as hard as he could onto my hand, and it almost broke it once, but of course he never got in trouble. But what? No, that can't happen. You can't expel a kid over stuff like that. But sure as hell will expel him over drugs. And that's a story later on, high school. But I just, the more times passed, the more anxious and worse everything got. I actually had a friend in 8th grade, which I got rid of because I realized she was really bad. I stopped doing my homework all completely, pretty much, and I was always in detention because I didn't do my homework, or I had a Saturday school because I didn't do my homework, and I got suspended because that friend told me, "Oh no, you don't have Saturday school. It's next week. I'm pretty sure it's next week." And I'm like, "Okay," and I got suspended for that. And then that was fun, and that was actually the last time I really stopped talking to my mom, because my mom tried parenting me over Facebook and yelling at me, is like, "You got suspended?" And I'm like, "You know what? You're not even here. You have no right to yell at me and everything." So I I muted her on Facebook, and I think she stayed muted for about a year. Hi, little gamer. But this friend would try to convince me to do all sorts of drugs, and she'd always try to convince me to spend money for a party she wanted to throw. Like, I had got my sister and I had gotten $20 each in gift cards from our grandfather, who I think disowned us or something, but he doesn't acknowledge that we exist. And my mom's alive. She's a recovering recovering drug addict in Mexico. Except if I ask that question to my big sister, she flips out. I was like, "Why do you even care about mom?" But that's a whole other story. All right. Just 8th grade. Either way, I was getting bullied a lot, and I started having severe anxiety. New Mexico, the newer one, a little north, and it's new. It's like a little box. And that's where she's lived ever since I was 7. And occasionally she'll come up to visit if someone dies. I believe it was 8th grade when I cut off all my hair too. I'm not 100% sure. No, it was 8th grade. And of course, I was actually I was having a little fun, but this girl was trying to convince me to spend all this money on her parties, and I honestly just didn't want to do that. And then I slowly realized that all she's really trying to do is use me. Like, she'd come over, spend the night at my house. She literally kicked me out of my room so she could video chat with this guy she really liked and striptease for him. We were 14. And that's when I was like, okay, maybe this girl isn't the best person for me to hang out with. We're going to call her. No, I'm not. I never even really used her real name. We're going to call her Desi because that was her nickname. But it's just like, I told my dad, like, I don't really want to hang out with Desi anymore. And I don't agree with a lot of things that she's been doing. And my dad's like, all right, I respect that. And she would call my dad. Like, I didn't have a real cell phone until I was 19, no, I was 18 and I bought it myself. I mean, I've had like off and on little burner phones, but like they wouldn't last. So my dad was the only way people could really reach me. And it's the same case with like my best friend now. He's like, I don't have a phone, so just message me on Facebook or call my mom. And I'm like, gotcha, fam. Because we're all poor. But I see that a lot, but I don't care. Anyways, he'd start telling us like, no, Lily's grounded right now, which is completely plausible. I was grounded a lot at that time, but that had to stop because I'd find loopholes. Like you can't be on the internet via your phone, via your laptop. I mean, and I'm like, fine, I'll just use the iPad, or fine, I'll use my iPod. I don't care, Dad. And so he gave up grounding me. So I was like the ungroundable child. And that's another thing. My dad wasn't the kind of dad that would get like angry. He's like, you can't do that. That doesn't mean anything. He's like, no, you're right. Loophole. God, you're too smart for me. Anyways, 8th grade year, I was starting to have severe anxiety attacks. I actually started going to therapy because I broke down one day, crying and everything. And I'm like, okay, there's something. This isn't normal, right? So I told my grandma about it. She's like, yeah, that's not normal. That's called anxiety. And then I explained that I was having all these problems. We're like, that's called depression. Maybe we should get you into therapy. And so I started going to therapy. I was also having like severe anger issues, and I still have some pretty strong anger issues. If anyone's heard me over phone yelling at Frost, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so I started getting help. That year, my great grandfather died as well. Why is my phone going off? Oh, I've got wonderful. I have more job application sites telling me, oh, there are jobs in your area. I'll have to look at those later. But my great grandfather died, so this is the last time I actually have seen my mom in person. Was when my great grandfather died, and he came up and visited. Oh, he was dead. She came up and visited for a funeral along with my big sister. Her now husband, well, not husband, we're not technically married, but they consider each other husband and wife, and they never want to get married because it's too expensive. But that was the last time I saw my mom and actually had a solid relation. The last time I actually interacted with my mom in a positive way. And I do miss her. I really miss her. But after that year, she completely changed because her then boyfriend had a stroke. He was almost 70, and she was either just turned 40 and she was almost 40. He was literally older than her mom. And he died, and after that, she hooked up with someone and started doing a whole bunch of drugs. And it wasn't just marijuana, because I know if it was, my big sister wouldn't make such a big deal about it because she's like, hey, pot's kind of cool. No, I'm pretty sure it was like the hard stuff, like cocaine and crystal meth again. I say this again because I'm pretty sure she would do cocaine when I was younger, but I'm not supposed to know. It's just something that I've guessed from hearing stories. Because like, that sounds like my mom did a lot of drugs back in the old days. But I'm not supposed to know that. But yeah. Like my best friend's mom, who lived in the same apartment building as my parents did when they first got married, and my best friend's mom was like, yeah, I used to bum cigarettes off of your mom when I was younger, before she was pregnant. She was either pregnant with you or before she got pregnant with you, and we share laundry detergent. I'm like, what? You knew my mom before you met us? That's crazy. And she's like, yeah, I always thought your dad was hot. I'm like, okay, maybe we could arrange that, and then we could actually be sisters. But I'm getting off topic. After that year, flash forward to freshman year, and I wanted to actually try to make more friends and have a positive school experience. Spoiler alert, that never happened. school got worse and I got sadder, and I actually did want to kill myself my early years of high school. I really wanted to die. And if you watch or participate in my mental illness stream, then I go into greater detail about that, but I don't want to do that right now. I just want to tell high school and how it sucked. I didn't have any friends. There are all these rumors going around that I was gay. I'm not. I really like penis. I really do. And that I was dating my ex best friend. Like, no, no, definitely not. I don't like her and I don't associate with her anymore. And I actually did have a boyfriend. And it was crazy. But the catch was he lived in Wisconsin, so no one believed that I had a boyfriend. But I was like, no, I seriously do have a boyfriend. He's there, up north. And I actually still talk to this guy to this day. We're really good friends. I'm like one of his only few friends. We call him Cheesehead. But yeah, he's a good friend now. But at this time I was dating him, and I'm like, okay, this is all fun. I have this boyfriend now. I don't know what to do with said boyfriend. I guess I just talk to him whenever I have a chance, and he was like grounded all the time, so he couldn't get on the internet. So it was a time. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but like, in some of my old videos, I talk about him briefly, and I use him as a joke because it was. Sorry, Brad, if you're listening. Don't think he knows that I stream now, but oh well. Alright. Freshman year. I don't remember a whole lot from my freshman year, but I do know I got a Saturday. Now we stopped with a Saturday school and called it Wednesday night school, so I had to go to a Wednesday night school because I said "son of a bitch" really loudly in the cafeteria, and a teacher heard it, and she's like, this teacher already didn't like me because I was troublesome and I didn't do my homework. So she pulled me out of the lunchroom, and I'm like, I was eating lunch. Can I go back and eat my lunch? No, I couldn't. So I went, she put me in the office, and we're like, all right, you need to sit down. And the vice principal of the time is just kind of going through my record, just like, you're in big trouble for cussing and everything. You're probably done before. She's like, because when you start your freshman year, your slate kind of cleans, and everything that you did your junior high years, even though you're still part of high school. Sorry, I'm putting this away real quick. Sorry for all the crinkling. It's ASMR now. And she looked at my records like, you haven't done anything yet, and you're just here for cussing. I'll just give you Wednesday night school to pacify her, but you'll be fine. So I'm in Wednesday night school, and enters my best friend for having a Wednesday night school for always being late to class. And she still always was late to class. She was late for everything, even any function. And I joke about this today. Like, I'll give her like, if I'm going to pick her up or anything, I tell her that I'm going to be there 30 minutes before, so I know when I actually get there, she'll be ready. And she was like, you're late. Actually, no, I gave you a false time. I'm on time. False start. I'm on time now. Haha. But no, I can't really remember too much from my freshman year. Okay, whole thing. The girl that I was really good friends with, that I stopped being good friends with, got pregnant that year. That was a huge thing because she was the first girl in my class to get pregnant. And I'm like, see, I'm not gay. That's not mine. And it was like a huge controversy because what am I planning next to? Like, what do you mean, what am I planning next to do? Job? I don't know. I'm just trying to get any kind of job. I want money because I'm getting poor. And Christmas is right around the corner, and I have 2 gifts I still have to buy. So honestly, I'm just waiting for anything but any of the jobs that I applied for to call and leave a voicemail because I don't trust my phones anymore because there's so many spam calls. So I'm hoping someone hires me. Until then, I'm just hoping. Hi, sugar. Hi, sugar mama. Either way, let's go back about a couple steps to what I was talking about. This girl got pregnant. I'm not friends with her. She's still trying to be friends with me, but I'm like, I'm not falling for it. You're kind of a jerk. Oh, thank you. I haven't even tried today. I didn't even take a shower last night. I just brushed my hair. I'm still in my pajamas, and I put on this fleecy thing because it was cold. I actually looked this girl up on Facebook not too long ago. She already has she has 2 more kids, and she's dating a ginger. And part of me is like, it's a ginger. And then, but it's like, you're probably going to have ginger kids anyways, Lily. It runs in your family. Don't be judgmental. But either way, this girl being pregnant was even more of a controversy because she was pregnant with the only black guy in my school with his kid. And I mean, I'm from a very small conservative area, so there's not a whole lot of color. Like my graduating class only had 1 person of color. And I'm not I don't want to sound racist or anything, but that's just where I live. It's rural, conservative Indiana, and it sucks. But that's where I live. For now. It's going to change, I hope. I want to get out of here. Who else is in my family? Well, it's in this house, it's me, my dad, and my sister, my younger sister. If you want to check, and then if you want to check my entire blood relations, I have an older sister who's my half sister who has a different dad because my mom's been married, I think, 2 before my dad. I think 4 times. It could be 5. I'm not sure. And then she didn't get a divorce from my stepdad just because it was too expensive to keep filing for divorce. So we're not divorced, and but we're separated. And from that marriage, I have, I think, 2 stepbrothers and an older stepsister. But my grandmother's side doesn't count. My dad's side doesn't count any of them. So to them, I only have 1 sister, and that's it. Because they don't even like to acknowledge that my mom or my big sister even occurred, because that's a whole other story. And I mean, I can talk about my childhood in a whole other stream because that's a whole other mess. I'm just trying to do the more from 13 up. No, and I'm 13 below, and even then, it's just messy. My relationship with my mom's drifted farther. I finally submitted a best friend again. This one girl got pregnant. I got my bully suspended finally. It wasn't even for bullying, it was for drugs. I had a really good teacher that year who I still really adore. She was my Earth and Space Science teacher. She was in charge of all my quiz bowl. And I really looked up to her, and I still do. She was the greatest teacher ever. And well, either way, this guy and his friend whose locker was right by me. They walked up to me, was like, "Hey man, can I hide my weed in your locker and everything?" I'm like, oh. So I went and told my teacher. They busted him for having drugs at school, and he got kicked out. And that was the greatest thing I ever done. Bully wise, I thought that was the perfect punishment because this kid was terrible. Like anything I did, back in 8th grade, I started wearing fake glasses, those real 3D glasses. I'd punch out the lens and I'd put them on and I'd wear them because I really wanted glasses. Flash forward to now, and I have them, and I absolutely love having glasses. But that's what I do. And they'd rip them off my face and they'd throw them in the trash. They'd break them just because kids are assholes. I remember once it was general music and I dropped my pencil and I accidentally farted when everyone was really quiet. And it's just like, I knew that I would never be able to live that down, and so I got harassed endlessly for a year over it. And I really just stopped wanting to go to school. Like I try to be sick as much as possible. I just try to convince my dad that I had to stay home for some reason. And that's bad. It's bad that people feel like that. Because I know it's not just me who's had that problem at some point. Either way, go to sophomore year. I'm trying to branch out and make friends and do stuff. I'm participating in Quiz Bowl. I'm participating in theater, and I really actually liked theater. I was once on stage, and that didn't go well because all the kids in theater didn't seem to like me. Like I really tried to be a friend. I really tried to participate in everything that they did, but for some reason, I just couldn't catch a break, and that really sucks because I still really want to be these people's friends so badly. And I don't know why it just like I'd bring in cookies for them. I tried everything to be their friend. And part of me's just like, is it because that I missed out on so much of everything that they don't am I really just that weird of a kid? And that's when that started to come into play. Am I not good enough to be this kind of person? And so like I gave up theater for about a half a year and I just went straight to the lighting booth because I just felt so caught off, and that was the only place where I felt like I had any kind of control in theater. Like that's where I ruled pretty much. I made rules, I did everything. And I just felt in charge. And also, we could eat as much food as we wanted up there. Like there was a whole trash can just full of snacks. Snack wrappers and everything. It was the greatest. After that, and then I joined Quiz Bowl, and I loved Quiz Bowl. It was just random trivia, and I rock at random trivia. Like I don't mean to brag, but I have a couple medals in my closet that are dedicated to trivia. And I rocked at that, but I still wasn't cool enough or smart enough to be on the varsity teams ever. And I mean, my first year I completely understood. In my second year, I understood because usually most of the varsity kids were there at least 2 years before they joined. That I got, and usually my junior year I was like, all right, but maybe next year I'll be on the varsity team. My first year, I wasn't even on a team. They just let me be an understudy if one of them didn't show up, and that really sucked because the kids that I was supposed to be subbing didn't know what they were doing, and they were getting questions wrong left and right. I'm like, I know this. I actually know this. God, you guys are stupid. But I didn't say that. I just tried to smile and be nice because I really wanted to be your friend. And that's pretty much what it was my sophomore year. It was me attempting to fit in and to talk to these kids and these other kids my age and try to, have some kind of friendship to feel like I'm a part of something. Didn't happen. And I know I look back on this all the time and was like, why wasn't I good enough? What could have I done differently? And that's like, you need to stop thinking like that. You don't need to think like that. You shouldn't keep thinking that you weren't good enough. They're other kids. They're insecure. They're assholes, whatever. But it's still something that I end up thinking about, even though I know better. I think I know better. I do know better. My junior year was pretty much all the same stuff. I forgot to add, I was dating this real asshole at the time who lives in the same town as it's the same city as Frost. And this guy was a total dick and he was really abusive. And so that was another factor going into that, is that I had this relationship going on as well. Junior year, I dumped him. Thank God. Didn't stay that way because I'm an idiot, and and I was trying. I turned 18, which was really cool. And again, I'm just trying to fit in with these kids and feel like I'm a part of something. It doesn't happen. Like I was in choir. I did all this extra stuff because that's what they advertise. Like that's how you go and make friends. That's how you go and make friends if you're cool and you know how to talk to people. If you don't, good luck. Because my graduating class was literally 54 people. Not 54. It was 45 people, and we were the popular kids or the main kids were the theater and smart people kids. Like that's what we were. We were all in theater. We were all really smart. We all did quiz bowl, and we were one. That was what my class was. And really quick fun story. On my 18th birthday party, I ended up shitting my pants at school during lunch. Like I didn't realize I had to go to the bathroom, and so I'm trying. Like it's during lunch and my stomach's rumbling. I'm like, it's probably because I'm hungry and everything. As right before, like 5 minutes before the bell was about to ring, I realized I have to go to the bathroom. I'm about to shit myself. I turned to the person sitting next to me. Was like, "Can you get my bag to my next class, please? I'm not going to make it in time." So I'm running to the bathroom, and as soon as I went for the bathroom door, I'm shitting my pants. And I'm like, oh no, I literally just turned 18. Why am I doing this? Probably because you ate a whole pound of coconut the night before. And you guys don't really want to hear this, but it's terrible. So I ended up shitting myself. A pair of underwear was ruined. It was my new Victoria's Secret underwear that I had a matching bra to. Not anymore. I threw away that pair of underwear. Also, I'm really quick texting my dad because he just got home and I don't want him to burst through the door. I'll say it. Yeah. Just letting you know that I'm streaming. Talk to you in a few minutes. Alright. Either way, I shit my pants at school when I'm 18, my junior year of high school. That's also one of the first stories I think I told Frost about myself. I was like, as soon as it happened, like, I'm never telling anybody this. And then I immediately was like, so I shit myself at school once. In high school. But either way, I threw away my panties. Really pissed about that. I really like that pair of panties. I am clean myself up. I go to the nurse and I just look at her and go, I had an accident. And she's like, what kind of accident? Like, I had an accident. Let me call my dad. And she's trying to, because the nurse was a former Army nurse, so she's like really rough and tough. So she's like interrogating me, like, what kind of accident? Like, let me call my dad. So she's like, I'm going to call your dad. So she calls my dad, says, your daughter had an accident, and she won't tell me what kind. He's like, well, give me the phone. So she hands me the phone. I said, I had an accident. Grab a pair of my jeans from my room. Just don't ask questions. Just bring my jeans. My dad is a trooper. He brought me my jeans, and he had never told him anything else. I didn't need to. He's like, do you need to come home and just bring me jeans? I didn't have any other accidents other than that. But that was the highlight of my junior year. My senior year is when I really started feeling alienated. Yeah, I know. So what happened next? My senior year is when I realized my classmates really didn't care about me, and that really kind of hurt because I put all into this work. I did not tell my dad. No, I think I probably ended up telling my dad. I'll probably ask. After this is over, I'll probably walk down while he's playing some God of War, not God of War, but some game, and I'll probably prop my elbow on his computer chair, look over screen, and I'll be like, "Did I ever tell you that I shit my pants at school?" Because that's the kind of relationship we have. Either way, senior year is when I realized none of my classmates cared about me, no matter how hard I tried to fit in. I still didn't really mean anything to them, and that sucked. I wish I'm another on a side note, I'm glad that my sister is the complete opposite and everyone loves my sister at school. Like that's the thing. They wouldn't tell me anything in theater. They would ask her and tell her what needs to be done. And I'm like, I'm right here. I'm in charge. I'm the senior. Whatever. Um Quiz Bowl, I still didn't make varsity, and that really hurt because they had two underclassmen up there, and it was their first year, and they still made varsity because they were, in terms, cooler and friends with those kids, and that hurt. I was the only senior not a part on the varsity team, and there was also there wasn't a difference between varsity or junior varsity. It was all the same questions. It was just more along the lines of the name and the age range. That really bothered me. It was like I'm still not really cool enough I'm still an outsider. Joke's on them. I placed higher than all of them. Because at the end they announce rankings. And if anything, it's just at the very end, they do rank varsity and junior varsity a little different for one category. And that's just because there's so many kids participating that they just kind of divide them up in categories, but it's all the same questions. You know what I mean? It's all the same. It's just you're placed in a different area. I placed second in junior varsity. No one in varsity placed, and I ranked second highest in my area. So like I ranked second in junior varsity, and then overall out of 40 kids, I was the second best. I lost out to a Culver Military Academy kid, which they cheat because they have the answers to all the quizzes and they just memorize them. Sorry, just holding that grudge still. And that was honestly just kind of a moment where I just kind of turned and looked at them, just kind of like, and they all just kind of got really quiet, and like the only person that clapped out of my school for me there's two people. It was the teacher who ran it, who was the same teacher who helped me get this kid expelled, and my sister's ex-girlfriend, who was one of the underclassmen who was on the varsity team, and they clapped as loud as they can, going, "Woo, Lily!" And I'm just kind of like, what can I say? I'm still smarter than all of you, even though you guys hate me. And then I think the final nail in the casket was the last performance in theater that we ever did. Because what they do is before every performance they have a prayer circle, but it's not really a prayer circle. It's just them all saying, "You guys just did a wonderful job." It's students only. We're like, "You guys, we did such a wonderful job. I'm proud of everyone, all of you guys." And it's also a goodbye for all the seniors. They started before I even showed up, and they just kind of looked at me like, "Well, we figured you wouldn't really fit in doing it." And this came from the mouth of a guy who was really in charge of everything and tried to include everyone. And he literally looked like, "We figured you wouldn't want to do it." I'm like, "I actually did, because you guys say goodbye to everyone. But that's okay. You guys don't like me anyways." And he literally looked at me. He said, "I was just trying to save you humiliation." And I just kind of went, "Oh, that's really wicked. That's awesome. Thanks." I needed that. And that's when I gave up trying. But like I'll see stuff if they post on Facebook, and part of me is just like, I still really want to be their friends. And part of me hopes that someday they end up seeing this video and just kind of looking back on it, just kind of like, oh wow, she really was trying to be our friends. But at the same time, I hope they never see it. I truly do. But yeah, that wraps up my high school experience. If you guys want to hear my childhood experience, I don't know if I did it as a stream or not already, but or if I talked about it. I think I might have talked about it. I don't know. But if you guys want to hear about how messed up my childhood was, I can do that too. There's more therapy involved. But that wraps up what I've got to talk about today. I'm just going to be making snowmen out of this huge hunk of white clay that I made. I also have to go watch my sister's theater performance at 7, so I'll probably actually have to get dressed for the first time in like 4 days. Either way, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!